A lot of people have a concern with Christianity because they seem to think that there's a God there who's got all of these rules and regulations, and we just got to follow all these rules and regulations, and that kind of comes across as legalistic, you know? And I think that the person who has this perception really doesn't understand Christianity as it's properly understood. And maybe the best way to explain this is to kind of give you an illustration, right? I mean, so I'm a father and I have 2 kids. And so you could take a look at my relationship with, for example, my son, okay? Now, I have certain expectations of my son, right? I mean, I want him to take out the trash, on Sunday night. I want him to, help clean up with things. I want him to, to be respectful to his mother and to his sister. And so I have a whole bunch of do's that I want him to do. And then I have a bunch of don'ts that I don't want him to do. Like I don't want him to mistreat other people or lie or, cheat or do other things. But if you were to just try to distill my relationship with my son with those do's and don'ts, you'd really miss the true nature of my relationship with my son. Because the reality is that although I have those do's and don'ts that my son knows about and oftentimes follows and doesn't always follow, the reality is that my relationship with him is far more than that, right? I mean, I have a loving, continual relationship where I'm investing in his life and he's investing in my life. And we do things together. I help him with homework. I spend time with him. We go on trips, right? We play sports together, right? We challenge each other. We talk about things. We wrestle about topics in life. And so it's a much more rich and dynamic relationship than just the mere do's and don'ts that are there. Yeah, are there do's and don'ts? Yeah, they are there. But our relationship consists far more than that, which makes my son think, oh man, my dad loves me, right? He wants to spend time with me. He cares about me. He invests in my life, And so I think when we understand our relationship with God, right, our Heavenly Father, it can be understood in a similar way. Does God have certain expectations of what we should do and not do? Yeah, absolutely. But our relationship with God, our understanding of what the Christian faith is like is far more than that. Because this is not just a God who has a bunch of do's and don'ts. He created us in his image. He's like an artist that has made something that's beautiful, and he loves us, and he longs to have a relationship with us, and he invests time in our lives, and he hears our prayer, he answers our prayer, he cares about us, and we, in return, also try to obey him, certainly, but we long to serve and to love him, and it's because he loves us that we respond in a reflexive way that is showing our love and our commitment to serving him and honoring him as well. And so I think when we understand our relationship with God in the same way that we would understand a healthy relationship with our earthly fathers, it helps us to see God's not just about all the do's and don'ts. Yeah, he's got those, but it's more than that. It's a relationship. That's why Christians always say, I have a personal relationship with God. It's not just like in Islam where you have a God that just commands you to obey him. No, this is a God who enters into creation, who wants to have a loving relationship, and it becomes much more than a bunch of do's and don'ts.